Hey, Dragon Slayers. This morning I was 245 and my blood glucose is 96. It's about 4 to 5 hours after eating. So today's topic on the next My Mistake series, and this one's going to be obvious, was eating too many carbs. So this was a huge mistake for me because I did not understand what eating too many carbohydrates would do to the body. Um, I went to college in San Antonio and I lived there total for about 7-ish years. During that time, my biggest weakness by far was Mexican food. I mean, it's so good. If any of you love Tex Mex or Mexican, you understand all the burritos and the nachos and the tortilla chips and there's so many carbs strewn throughout Mexican food. And then you combine that with sweet tea and it's a nightmare. It's a recipe for disaster. But there are ways to still have the food and the flavors that you love without all the carbohydrates. So I've covered some of these tips before, but the number one thing that you can do to reduce your carbohydrate consumption is to stop drinking your carbs. I mean, you should only be drinking water, lemon water. You can have a Zevia on occasion. You can put some organic stevia drops in some tea, and you can have a little bit of sweetness without all the carbohydrates. And fruit juices, just stop drinking fruit juice. There is literally nothing healthy about fruit juice. There's some trace minerals and vitamins, but if you really want the taste of the fruit juice, just eat the fruit. You are better off 100% of the time simply eating the fruit. And eliminate the grains, right? Like grains, it's not that grains are not healthy. You can get some health benefit from grains, but I'm specifically speaking to people that are insulin resistant, right? If you have type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetes, stop the grains. That means no rice, no quinoa, no oatmeal, no, cut out all the grains because all of the grains are going to spike your blood sugar. Now, once you do this for several years and you stop becoming so insulin resistant, you can have a little bit of the grains from time to time, right? But this is all about reversing that disease process. So you want to cut out the grains completely, at least for several years. Stop snacking. I know this doesn't tie into carbohydrates directly, but every time you eat anything, it's going to trigger insulin. So, cutting out the snacks in general, if you just limit yourself to 3 meals a day, right? So, in combination with reducing your total carb input and reducing your frequency of eating, that's going to have a significantly positive impact on your blood sugar. Eating out as well, right? They're hitting carbohydrates in pretty much everything. You really want to try to find foods that you love that are low carb, that are low glycemic, and that have, use the good oils that we've talked about previously, your olive oils and your like butter and ghee and things of that nature, and any of your saturated animal fats. That's going to significantly improve your overall health, right? But it's also going to help reverse the type 2 diabetes. There are so many hidden carbs in food that you eat out. For example, anytime you eat like ground beef from a fast food restaurant, there's more soy and other junk in there than there is actual meat. One primary example is Taco Bell. I mean, everybody knows Taco Bell's not good for you, but it's funny because like the beef content of their ground beef is like less than 35%. It's pretty ridiculous. So you're getting so many carbohydrates even in the meats that you eat out, right? And even if you're eating from a restaurant and you're eating a dish that is high in protein, you're still getting the bad oils from it. So cut the eating out. And then the last way to reduce your carbs is just to simply focus on green leafy vegetables. So replace the carbs in your meals with green leafy vegetables. If you want nachos, simply slice up a cucumber or something and like put the same toppings that you would put on your nachos on the cucumber instead, or eat it over a bed of lettuce. You will find ways over time that work for you, and I can share some more tips and tricks that I use in my own life in later videos. That's what I've got for you today. Remember that together, you and I will slay the dreaded diabetes dragon.